Zum vierten Match des Abends kommen zum nächsten Spieler aus England, der schon seit vielen Jahren bei der PDC dabei ist, seit 2004, bei dem es aber noch nicht zum ganz großen Wurf gereicht hat. Die aktuelle Nummer 71 der Welt. Herzlich willkommen, Dynamite Darren Johnson. 'Cause I'm TNT, I'm Dynamite, TNT, back in town, so don't you mess around. 'Cause I'm TNT, I'm Dynamite, TNT. Darren Johnson tritt an gegen den erfolgreichsten Spieler aus dem deutschen Sprachraum überhaupt. Der Mann hat in Riesa bei den International Darts Open seinen ersten PDC-Titel geholt und nach 2 unglaublich konstanten Jahren ist er aktuell die Nummer 12 der Welt. Aus Wien, the gentle Mensur Suljovic. You're simply the best. In your eyes, I get lost, I get washed away.
Let not the serene walk-on and the double gilding welcome fool you. This man is an absolute monster on the dartboard. Mensur Suljovic is second only to Michael van Gerwen in terms of the success he has had on the European Tour in 2016. He has won one. He has made another final. He has repeatedly made the final day and the final session of these European tours. And quite frankly, you have to take this man seriously as a contender for the title in everything he enters. He takes on Dynamite Darren Johnson, a man who was very impressive in seeing off Janos Vargsha in his opening game yesterday here at the Happy Bet German Darts Championship. But Johnson is going to have to step it up a level, 2 levels, many levels, all the levels, if he is going to challenge Mensur Suljovic. Dan Dawson in the commentary box for this one. Paul Nicholson alongside me for it.
Well, we have Suljovic, a European Tour winner from Riesa last month. We have a very streamlined Darren Johnson. We'll talk about that haircut in just a moment. He begged me not to bring it up.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg is Darren to throw first. Game on.
Well, if you didn't want me to bring it up, Darren, you shouldn't have brought it up with me, because this is the way it went this morning. He went to get a haircut down in the streets of Hildesheim. He said to the barber, "Can I have a number 1 on the sides and the back and a number 3 on the top?" The barber proceeded to take the number 1 razor and go on the top. So he had a big line. And then the next thing you know, well, you've got to even it out. And he's about as streamlined as I've ever seen him.
Wow. He could have had the old reverse Mohican with just a big tram line in the middle of his head, but he's gone for something a little bit more conventional.
I don't think there's anybody who lives in Nexborough with a mohawk.
100.
I don't know what Dennis Priestley would have to say when he goes back home on Monday.
Oh, there's a bet or a challenge. Dennis Priestley, if you're watching this, I dare you to turn up with a mohawk at some point. Still, he's cool enough to pull it off, even at his age.
55.
He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, the Menace has got carte blanche to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, but you're right, Dan. I feel like Darren's just got to step it up a little bit after yesterday's performance. It was a good performance. There were signs of brilliance. But Suljovic is just on another level at the moment.
You just expect Mensur to go and average in the high 90s every time he goes up there and hit 40-50% double, maybe even more.
Yeah, 99 is his. Yeah. That's his game. He'll have 5 $15 and a 16. The 16 will bring him down a peg.
But that's
45.
I mean, that'll win you tournaments.
Yeah.
You keep doing that game after game. Sometimes you have to find something very special. You know, when you're going up against somebody who goes and does a Steve West against you and averages 110. But even then, you average around about 100, take out the shots when they count, and you can still win those games. Go and talk to Phil Taylor, who's lost a couple of games with 115 averages.
Yep.
83.
Well, Suljovic is in a bit of a dry spell at the minute, isn't he?
Well,
he lost in the first round at the Grand Prix.
He did.
That's it. That's the dry spell.
Yeah.
So it's
Game shot on the first leg.
And a quintessential
Suljovic.
start to this match.
Second leg is
Suljovic
Mensa
style,
to throw
14
first.
darts. That will do.
Game on.
A break of throw to boot. Yeah, Mensur Suljovic only once this year has he failed to get into the money. He's played every single event, and there was just one tournament in Barnsley.
85.
It was the day after he made the final, actually, and he went out in round one. Jonathan Worsley was the man to beat him. But every single other tournament he has picked up money, and that is why, I mean, in the
80.
European Tour, he's picked up 55.5 grand. He is second only to MVG. Admittedly, MVG's won 3 times that amount, but then again, that's Michael van Gerwen. But he's ahead of Peter Wright and James Wade, all these guys.
That's amazing.
99.
When you think about the talent that is chasing him down, that is a very, very good list to be heading.
No, 1 win, 1 final, a semi-final, 3
123.
quarter-finals. And when you look at the players who, you know, are trying desperately to get to these and win games and qualify for the European Championship. I know Mensur's seeded. He's seeded by virtue of the fact that he kept on. I mean, he made a semi-final here last year, the start of the year. One of many, many semi-finals. 12 he made before he made his first final in all ranking events.
That just says you just got to keep plugging away, right?
That's exactly what he's done. He has become
26.
a consistent, such a consistent performer, and consistently at a high, high level. It is magnificent what Mensur Suljovic has done over the last 2-3 years.
137.
And it's got to give every single dart player hope that if you've got talent and you can nurture it in the best possible way,
30.
magical
Mensa
things can happen
80.
for you.
Well, for another 14 dart leg, he needs to get rid of this in 2. And he still can. 2 10s. 15 isn't too shabby.
Game shot on the second leg. Mensa
And that
Suljovic.
finish isn't too shabby either.
Third leg is Darren to throw first. Game on.
And in the time that Suljovic has been really hitting the heights since the first week of September, where he picked up his first win.
96.
That was a statistic that was talked about a few hours ago. Since the beginning of September, in ranked events, the amount of money that Michael van Gerwen has won since the 1st of September,
140.
if he was starting from scratch in World Darts rankings, he'd be 19th in the world, just from the last 6 to 7 weeks
85.
worth of earnings.
It is terrifying.
Maybe that's the way we can make it a bit more even. He's got to go from scratch every couple of months.
Yeah.
140.
Michael van Gerwen occupies the 7 of the top 10 positions all on his own. 3-month spells for MVG.
60.
And then has to start again. We do get to see the world #1 tonight. Penultimate game of the evening session. Penultimate game of the second round. He takes on Robbie Green. Robbie Green, knowing that if he can upset the odds,
105.
will give himself a realistic chance of making the European Championships if he does not beat MVG. No Belgium for you, Cole.
85. Mensa you require 116.
He's got a habit of sneaking into tournaments. He's done it with the match play in the Grand Prix. Why not the Europeans as well? Is this going to be a 12-dart finish?
Game
Of course
shot
it
on the
is.
third
Why would I
leg.
even
Mensa
doubt that?
Suljovic.
It's Mensur Suljovic.
Fourth leg is Mensa
It's
to throw
116
first.
out.
Game on.
It's 3-0. It's unspectacular, but at the same time, it's spectacular.
Look, it's the way he throws. If he was throwing at the pace of Michael van Gerwen, if he was throwing like Ricky
100.
Evans and he was throwing the darts landing in exactly the same place, people would be bouncing around in this hall demanding that he be included in
56.
everything. The Premier League, everything. He is a force, Mensur Suljovic, nowadays. And look, this may be a purple patch. This may be, you know, a year where he
96.
goes brilliantly, wins a few tournaments, makes a lot of finals and semi-finals and stuff, and then it just fades away. But I don't see any reason why that should be. He has worked so hard to get to this
140.
point. He spent the last 2.5 years playing every event, and he's just got better and better and better. I don't have enough good things to say about the man.
Well, funny enough, it's actually when he started playing every event, he started getting better.
Yeah.
Because he would pick and choose. He would go to the odd
98.
British-based event. He would go to the odd European event, the odd UK Open qualifier. But now he's playing everything. He's just got that consistency and that
140.
danger about him that is evident in every match he plays. And I'll put this to you, Dan. Premier League.
I think he has to go and win something. I genuinely do, because I think that he is not a stereotypical Premier League player, but he is producing stuff like that, which just demands attention. Demands it. He's gone 14 data, 15 data, 12 data, potential 13 data here for a 4-0 lead.
It's not like Darren Johnson's had a bad leg either.
9, and it's next to one he likes. Right next to the one he likes.
Game
Just
shot.
put it as close to that one as you like. And there's the imaginary opponent's headbutt celebration from Mensur Suljovic.
I forget what the counter had.
It was a lot.
I think it was 22-23. Back in, we kept the count of the amount of
60.
headbutt celebrations, and that included some of the double headbutts that we saw. Because sometimes he gives it a stitch and then gives it a follow-up. But my personal view is if he keeps going the way he is and has some solid results to the end of the year, I would pick him because I think he's different, and I think he brings something that we haven't had before.
I think there's a few players that would like to see him omitted.
Agreed. James Wade doesn't like playing him.
Gary Anderson certainly doesn't like playing him. Got beaten by him at the match play last year. Hated it. Just 109 average, by the way, and going up. Going up. It's going up and up and up. Mensur Suljovic is averaging 112. We saw nearly 110 from Steve West the other day when he hit 7 180s. Mensur hasn't hit one yet. He's had a couple of 177s.
He might have got up first round of the World Grand Prix, but the European stage seems to be his wheelhouse. I mean, with the exception of Austria, where he was beaten.
Yeah.
I mean, funnily enough, in his own country. In Germany, he's just so at home on that stage. He owns it a lot more than other players. I mean, Van Gerwen's the only one who's played better than him this year. Like you said, with all the statistics at the beginning of the match.
Well, look, for another ridiculous leg of darts. Stay in there. Bullseye for Mensur Suljovic. Ooh, well.
49. Darren, you require 160.
That's about as much of a wide as you get. That's not wide. Neither's that. Tops for Darren Johnson. Oh, we love that.
Fifth leg, Darren Johnson.
You had a bet on 6-0. You've just lost all your money.
Mensur to throw first. Game on.
And the highest checkout of the weekend, if I'm not very much mistaken.
I'll take your 1-2-6. And I'll raise you 34. 160, Darren Johnson. You are right.
145.
Biggest checkout of the weekend.
Well, you said we get a 170, but a 160 ain't bad. And I tell you what, he needed to hit it as well.
140.
It's a long way back for Darren Johnson, but when you keep hitting treble 20s like he has done in the last 2 visits, I would never say never. He's playing a very, very accomplished opponent here. Let's go and bull again.
145.
Couple of 145s.
Right. Are we going to see a 145 in next visit as well?
Oh, I don't put it past. I mean, I think he'd probably go 171, wouldn't he?
100.
But
3 treble 19s.
he's Mensur. I mean, he'll do what he wants.
He's going to have a crack at that 9 darter, isn't he? At some point.
170.
Yeah.
But he did do it in the Super League, didn't he? A couple of 170s.
58.
And saw for the 161.
I think the right word for that leg is audacious.
Well, it's... Apparently, he wasn't even thinking about the 9 darter. He just sort of hit the 2 170s and then...
Oh, hang on. 153.
As you do.
Yeah, quite.
Why doesn't he just go for 3 167s instead?
Yeah. Will he? Well, he won't. He won't take out the 153.
93.
Let's see if Darren Johnson can go one better.
161.
It's a little different.
Ooh.
Not going to get it this time, though. And that temporary reprieve.
100.
That's what it looks
he
like.
requires 60.
Suljovic, 60. 20 in tops. Only way to go. Clear bed.
Oh, that's
not anymore.
Clear. Left or right?
Game shot.
Right it is.
Leg.
Finds it. Headbutt. Punch. 15 darter. 5-1.
Game on.
Mensur Suljovic. I mean, we all talk about his double 14. We know he is the greatest double 14 hitter in the world. I mean, not many other people leave it as much as he does, but we've said before, he doesn't have any weakness on any other doubles. He's gone double 8, double 10, double 18, double 9, double top. He's not even left double 14 yet. He's 56%. He's not even used his famed double 14. He is averaging 107. Sorry, 108. Apologies, Mensur.
140.
That's pretty consistent from Darren Johnson as well. His first 9 averages mirroring his overall average. I think that was very much helped by the 160 finish.
100.
But the atmospheres in Britain are different to the atmospheres here in Germany. Would you agree?
I think they are to an extent. Ooh,
123.
Maybe
Mensur is just a fan of the German atmospheres.
But then again, you know, Mensur, he's had success at the Grand Prix, of course, in Dublin. Made the semi-finals last year. Obviously disappointed this year.
85. Darren, you acquire 155.
I really think that he's going to be one of the most dangerous players at the World Championship. And if you're looking for an outside bet for somebody,
97.
I don't see why Mensur Suljovic would not be in the reckoning.
He's definitely one of those guys outside of the top 8 that you'd want to dodge if you're a qualifier.
Darren, you acquire 58.
And he's been dangerous as a qualifier for so long. Tops it is to stay in the match.
38.
Could be the last dart he throws as Suljovic has got anything to do with it.
Well, he took out 116 in the third leg, treble 20, 20, double 18. That's a little bit awkward. Oh, of course he's not awkward. Oh, it's too good. It is too good. A 15-darter once again. Mensur Suljovic puts in a stunning display on the European Tour. He made the semi-finals here last year. He's just averaged 107. Only Steve West has thrown better than that here this weekend. A 6-1 win for Mensur Suljovic. He will face David Pallet in a repeat of their incredible World Championship game last time at Ali Pali, where both men missed the final dart for 9 dart legs. Surely we won't have anything like that. But I tell you what, Mensur Suljovic looks in the mood, and he may just produce something very, very special this weekend. Jelle Clausen, another man who's been superb on the European Tour, is coming up as he takes on a man who very nearly produced a perfect leg last night. Roby John Rodriguez, Mensur Suljovic's Austrian World Cup of Darts teammate.
Hier in Runde 2 der Happy Bet German Darts Championship. Applaus für Dynamite, Darren Johnson. Mensur, ich gratuliere dir. Starker Auftritt, tolles Match, 107er Average. Irgendwie das, was wir inzwischen ganz, ganz oft von dir erleben, gerade hier auf der European Tour.
Leider im Moment Probleme mit meinem Kreuz, aber ich gebe mein Bestes. Ich freue mich immer auf jedes Spiel, aber leider, mein Körper macht leider nicht mit.
Naja, das sah aber heute ganz gut aus. World Grand Prix ja in der ersten Runde ausgeschieden. Spürst du so allmählich auch, dass alle denken und erwarten, bei der Mensur, der muss doch alles gewinnen und der muss doch ein paar Runden holen. Du bist jetzt so in der Position Nummer 12 der Welt, wo irgendwie alle auch mit deinen Erfolgen rechnen.
Ja, korrekt. Du setzt mich immer unter Druck.
Ja, natürlich.
Du sagst immer, der Deutschsprachige muss er gewinnen. Du, der Thomas, das vergiss ich euch nie. Aber ich danke euch wirklich für ein super, super Event. Ihr spricht ja wirklich gut von uns alle, wirklich deutschsprachige Respekt. Ich gebe mein Bestes, aber ich bin wirklich unter Druck jedes Mal, bei jedem Turnier.
Was nimmst du dir vor für die nächsten Wochen? Jetzt kommen ja nochmal große Turniere auf, wo es einfach nochmal darum geht, auch möglichst viel Preisgeld einzuholen. Und natürlich dann der Höhepunkt, die WM. Was ist so dein Ziel für die nächsten Wochen?
Ich hoffe, ich werde gesund, dass ich trainieren regelmäßig kann und immer ein paar Runden überstehen. Mehr kann ich nicht sagen. Und das ist ja nicht im Moment mehr möglich.
Also, auch hier ein paar Runden noch überstehen. Wir sehen dich morgen wieder. The Gentle Mensur Suljovic. Und bevor wir